General Hospital spoilers, Kelly Thiebaud signs shocking 3-year contract. Britt brings back Liesl and Peter. Everything changes. Port Charles is about to be rocked to its core once again, as General Hospital fans are in for a storm of emotion, betrayal, and jaw-dropping twists. In a move no one saw coming, fan favorite Kelly Thiebaud, best known for her fiery, complicated role as Dr. Britt Westbourne, is making a triumphant return to GH, this time with a massive 3-year contract in hand. And trust us, the terms of this comeback are as wild as Britt's infamous past. But hold on to your stethoscopes and champagne glasses, because this return isn't just about Britt reclaiming her place at General Hospital. Nope, it's about Britt rewriting the very fabric of the canvas. Rumors swirl that Britt isn't coming back alone. She's bringing with her the ghosts of Port Charles's most dangerous pasts, Liesl Albrecht and Peter August. Kelly Thiebaud's deal. What does it mean? Kelly Thiebaud's return comes at a pivotal moment. After her emotional exit, when Britt succumbed to the effects of her Huntington's disease in 2022, fans were left devastated. The character was presumed dead after a violent encounter, but in classic soap opera fashion, death is often just the beginning. Sources close to production confirm that Kelly has inked a 3-year exclusive deal, one that not only cements Britt's long-term presence, but places her squarely at the center of upcoming umbrella storylines. Insiders report that Thiebaud was lured back with promises of one of the most complex arcs the show has ever attempted. Executive producer Frank Valentini is said to have championed her return, believing Britt holds the key to shaking up multiple families and legacies in Port Charles. This is General Hospital at its boldest. A source close to the writing team shared. You'll think you know what's coming, and then you'll be blindsided. But that's not all. Kelly's return also signals the return of legacy villainess Liesl Albrecht, Kathleen Gotti, and the show's most polarizing baddie, Peter August, Wes Ramsey. How, you ask? Well, buckle up. Britt's return from the dead. The stunning twist. The storyline kicks off when Sam McCall and Damien Spinelli stumble across a shocking clue while investigating a newly arrived crime syndicate tied to the Cassadines. A single piece of surveillance footage shows a figure resembling Britt boarding a freighter in Eastern Europe, alive and very much in hiding. This revelation sends ripples through Port Charles. Jason Morgan, long presumed dead himself, resurfaces in the shadows, launching his own off-the-books mission to track down Britt. Meanwhile, Maxie Jones finds herself haunted by memories of Peter, especially as her daughter Bailey begins having nightmares of the bad man. When Britt finally reappears, it's during a high-stakes rescue at an abandoned clinic in Switzerland, one eerily familiar to longtime viewers as the same clinic used by Victor Cassadine and the DVX. Britt's entrance is nothing short of cinematic. Shrouded in black, gun in hand, Britt saves Jason from mercenaries before turning to reveal herself, alive, battle-worn, but very much still Britt. The shocker, Peter August is alive. In a gut-wrenching confession, Britt tells Jason and Sam that Peter isn't dead. While Port Charles celebrated his presumed demise after the bridge collapse, Britt reveals that Peter was pulled from the wreckage by Liesl, who couldn't let go of her own flesh and blood, no matter how twisted. To protect Britt from her own self-destructive impulses, and due to her worsening Huntington symptoms, Liesl staged Britt's death and spirited both her and Peter away to Europe. But Peter, ever the manipulator, used the time to recover, regroup, and plot. Britt, under duress and battling her illness, was forced to care for both her mother and half-brother in hiding. But things took a darker turn when Peter discovered Britt's secret, a radical medical trial in Zurich that reversed the symptoms of her Huntington's disease. The experimental treatment, originally created by an ex-DVX scientist, gave Britt back her health, but at a horrifying cost. She was now indebted to both Liesl and Peter. Britt's new agenda: chaos in Port Charles. Returning to Port Charles, Britt carries the weight of her past, the burden of her family, and the grim knowledge that Peter is alive and soon to follow. But Britt isn't the same woman who left. Hardened, morally gray, and with nothing left to lose, she's back to reclaim everything she lost: her position at GH, her relationships, and her power. Britt makes her re-entrance at the hospital during a crisis involving the board of directors, who are desperate for strong leadership. With Monica Quartermain stepping down and chaos brewing with Cyrus Renault's looming threat, Britt sweeps in and claims the chief of staff position by blackmailing key board members with explosive intel she gathered while overseas. But the real stunner comes when Britt announces that she intends to build a new neurology wing, funded by a mysterious donor, Peter August himself, under an alias. Britt's new dynamic with Jason and Sam. Jason, torn between his loyalty to Sam, his lingering guilt over Britt's death, and his realization that Peter is alive, finds himself pulled back into Britt's orbit. The chemistry between Britt and Jason reignites almost immediately, but this isn't the starry-eyed Britt from before. This Britt is calculating, guarded, and working an angle. Sam, meanwhile, senses Britt is hiding even more than she lets on, and their rivalry takes center stage once again. As Britt manipulates Jason into protecting her from Peter's wrath, Sam launches her own investigation, one that leads her to uncover the horrifying truth. Peter isn't just lurking in the shadows, he's already in Port Charles, disguised and ready to strike. Liesl's hidden agenda. But where is Liesl in all of this? Kathleen Gotti's return as the formidable Albrecht promises another layer of emotional complexity. Liesl has been keeping secrets even from Britt. Desperate to redeem herself and protect her daughter, Liesl has secretly been working with Victor Cassadine's remnants to take down Peter once and for all. However, when Liesl and Britt reunite on screen, the fireworks are instant. The mother-daughter dynamic is fraught with betrayal, guilt, and love. Britt resents Liesl for robbing her of agency, while Liesl struggles to justify her actions. But both women agree on one thing: Peter must be stopped before he unleashes chaos once again. Peter's comeback arc. The villain evolves. Peter August is returning darker, more deranged, and more cunning than ever. No longer the desperate son craving affection, Peter's time in exile has turned him into a full-blown sociopath with a vendetta against everyone who wronged him: Maxie, Anna, Valentine, and most chillingly Britt. Peter's plan? To rebuild his empire under the radar while embedding himself in Port Charles's power structures. He sets his sights on manipulating Elizabeth Baldwin through her grief over losing Finn, using her vulnerability to get closer to the hospital's operations. But Peter's masterstroke will be aligning himself with another villain on the rise: Cyrus Renault. Cyrus and Peter. The alliance from hell. In a twist that no one saw coming, Peter brokers a deal with Cyrus Renault. Together, they plot to take control of General Hospital, the Corinthos crime empire, and even the Cassadine estate, now fractured following Victor's downfall. This unholy alliance sets the stage for a war that could engulf the entire city. Britt finds herself in the crosshairs, torn between saving Port Charles and saving herself. As Jason, Sam, and even Sonny Corinthos get pulled into the storm, old enemies will become uneasy allies, and long-buried secrets will surface. The fallout. Who's in danger? Spoilers tease that Maxie, Nina, and Valentine will be the first targets of Peter's wrath. Nina's bond with Liesl puts her in immediate danger, while Valentine's lingering guilt over Peter's past actions makes him a liability. Maxie, still fragile from the loss of Nathan and haunted by her decision to lie about Peter's death, is set to have a shocking confrontation with him that could change everything. Even Spencer and Trina find themselves drawn into the chaos when Peter sets his sights on using Spencer's ties to the Cassadines for his own gain. Fan reaction and what's next? Fan response to Kelly Thiebaud's return has already lit social media ablaze, with #BritisBack trending within hours of the news breaking. Some viewers are thrilled at the prospect of Britt returning to her darker roots, while others are bracing for the emotional roller coaster of seeing Peter August torment Port Charles once again. But one thing is clear: General Hospital is entering one of its boldest eras yet. According to insiders, Britt's return arc will culminate in a sweeps period event so massive it will change the landscape of Port Charles permanently. With deadly alliances, impossible choices, and emotional reckonings ahead, fans won't want to miss a second.